Today is the 27th day of March 2022. Welcome to my podcast. My name is Vaso Obaseki, and as always, it's my pleasure to be here to bring you information, gists, guidance, and small talk, basically. And speaking of small talk, I'll be having a small talk with you today. Most of the things I share here are things that I have experienced and I have seen firsthand, and I barely make assumptions about things that I talk about on my podcast. So be rest assured that I am actually speaking to you from my heart every single time I pick up my mic to talk. I'm actually speaking from my heart. And sometimes when these things occur, they are not as straightforward as I'm able to describe it to you. Most of these things are usually very, very tasking, very draining, but as it's with life, we go through things, and the ones that can't kill us makes us strong. So yeah. So I'll be talking about dealing with the chaotic today, and it just occurred to me a few moments back before podcast. Normally I would have topics that I would want to talk about, but this wasn't the topic I was going to talk about. But it just occurred to me some things had happened, and I was going through Instagram. And I saw a few things, and an experience also occurred to me. Personal experience occurred to me, and I decided to share. I'm not going to tell you what exactly happened to me, but I'm just going to give you the skeletal, structure of what really happened. Not necessarily what happened. It's just my way of telling you, okay, guys, be careful about these things. Be careful of these things. So dealing with the chaotic, and this is not in terms of life in general. I'm talking about relationally. When you're in a relationship with someone, it doesn't have to be sexual, romantic relationship. It could be just regular relationship. It could be your work relationship. Could be your whatever relationship. Provided in this case you have not grown up with these persons. Just know that everybody has their different upbringing, and a lot of things that people exhibit as a result of what and where they were brought up, how they were brought up. This, all I'm trying to say is, have you ever, I want to know, have you ever been in a situation whereby you just experience someone, person is sweet, person is nice, and after a week or 2 or 3 or say even a month, you find yourself always being in constant exchange with this person, and after the exchange, I'm talking about exchange, I'm not talking about conversations or something. I'm talking about exchange. When I mean exchange, I mean confrontational exchanges. You guys say words that can hurt each other. You are stupid, your father is a bastard, excuse my language, and stuff, or you have no home training, it will not be well with you, kind of exchange. And all of a sudden, afterwards, this same person, after saying all those things, come back to you and say, oh, Come on, that was just at the heat of the moment. We're just angry and all that. Let's resolve the matter and let's get back to being friends again. And you're like, what? There are words that you don't say to people that you want to come back to. Like, for example, if you call me a bastard, trust me, trust me, trust me. I'm never talking to you again in my whole life. I don't care what you're about to offer. If you embarrass me outside, we drag outside, and unfortunately I join you in your madness, and we drag about anything that is very irrelevant outside, embarrass ourselves outside. They'll never see me with you again. Like, I'm not seeing myself with you again, because it kills who I thought you were in my head. But trust me, there are people who, despite that, for them it's regular sport, because they grew up in probably a family or in an environment where fighting, abuses, raining curses, and abusing was the order of the day, and embarrassing oneself, being toxic literally was the order of the day. So they don't see anything wrong with being toxic outside. You don't see anything wrong with you pull my hair, I pull your hair, you hit me in the jugular, I hit you somewhere very very bad, and we'll come back and we'll tell ourselves we're friends or I love you, especially in a romantic relationship. They don't see anything wrong with it, because this is what they know. They understand violence, they understand chaos. If they're not in a chaotic situation, life is not complete. It feels odd. It feels really odd, and especially for relationships, romantic relationships. When you are in contact with such a person and you are sure that you cannot show the person that there is a better way of doing things. I'm not saying changing the person, because you can't change people. You can only show them that they can change. And you're very sure that you can't show them a better way of doing things. I don't advise you to stay there anymore. I don't. I mean, it will come to a point where that violence or chaos will cost you your life. And in the end, the person will be remorseful. Whether or not that could be the changing point or vantage point for the person to change. Why should it have to cost you your life or your business or whatever it is that is you hold very, very dear to you? Why do you have to get to that point to see? It might cost you your health, your sanity. I mean, in my own case, it cost me a lot of personal sanity. It cost me a lot of personal things, including sanity. I got really drained physically, emotionally, especially spiritually. I got really drained because how would this thing have happened? And this person doesn't see anything wrong with it. How would you have embarrassed me outside? How would we have had confrontations outside, and I'm trying to even calm you down, and you're not seeing any reason why I should be calm, and I should still be with you? And you come back and tell me, oh, I care about you, you are the best thing that has happened to me, but you just embarrassed me outside. It just cost me my image outside. It just cost me my sanity. If I was not someone who was a bit mentally strong, I would have killed myself. So if I died, how would you be apologetic about it to me? Like, when I talk about forgiveness, I'm very big on forgiveness, not actually accepting apologies, and in very rare cases, because a lot of people just apologize just because they feel make her apologize. When I apologize, the person will calm down, will move. A lot of people would want to just deliberately use all the weapons they have in their arsenal to get what they want, and then they come back and play the "I've apologized now, forgive me now" card. They want to play the face apology card and all that, and it doesn't work like that. It really doesn't work like that, because if you've killed someone, you cannot apologize to the dead. And as far as I'm concerned, in this case, you've killed me. So how do you deal with a chaotic situation? Number one is to walk out of the situation. That's my number one. Walk out, walk away. And number two is, before you get to that point where it becomes chaotic, you should have understood this person, found out this person's triggers, know what this person is all about. So you don't even have to get there at all. You don't have to get to that point, because I'm a very preventive person. I try to prevent things from happening. It's about intentionality. It's about being intentional about your surrounding yourself, people around you, things you deal with. Be intentional so some stuff don't get you off guard. You don't get shocked about, like our president that expresses shock at everything. You don't get shocked about issues that has happened when you could have just avoided them. What do I mean? I mean, if, like my boss, we used to say, if you are to get somewhere by 9 o'clock and by 7 you are already stuck, you are not late 5 minutes to 9. You are late 5 minutes past 7 when you know that getting to your destination might be impossible. By that time, you begin to call people and say, oh, this is this time, I am not yet sure about my movement. There is no harm in creating opportunities for success. No harm. In fact, there is no over planning. Nothing like over planning. Say you are 5 people and you bought stuff worth for 50 people. It is better, it is more than enough than it was not enough at all. So make sufficient plans, because if you just say, we'll go swing Jared, let's just swing it, it means that you are planning to fail, literally, and you're not intentional about the things you are doing. You don't even understand it, you don't even care about it, you're not even supposed to be there in the first place. So before you get to that, prevent it. Prevent the chaos. And then when you are in the chaos, because truth be told, toxic people that are toxic, show their toxicity in the beginning, but people like us now who just want to make excuses for them. It's just temporary. The person will change, he or she will change. They don't usually change like that. They don't really. Situations like that don't just change. Very rare cases. They don't usually change. So by that time, when you found out and your love or whatever it is you've had for that person is still burning hot steam, start creating plans to guard your heart when anything happens, because when it happens, I'm sorry. And number 3, in a chaotic situation, don't be the propeller of the fire. Don't blow air into the fire, because when a person is being chaotic, when a person is being dramatic and is trying to cause problems, trying to drag you into the mud he or she already is in, don't try to encourage the person. Don't encourage the fire. Walk away. Literally walk away. Because if you encourage the fire, you end up getting burnt. You end up getting dirty by the same mud this person is, and that's what they really want. They enjoy it when they're in a chaotic situation. So no, don't be there. And then by the time you are able to do these things, you'd realize that you are soaring above the issue or the problem. Sometimes they want to emotionally blackmail you to make you feel bad for not being chaotic with them. Don't fall for it, trust me. Don't even try it. Don't fall for it, because you can't be emotionally manipulated to be in a chaotic situation and expect to come out alive. No, you will not. There are words they already know that are triggers for you. There are words they already know that if they say these words, you would respond. But try as much as possible. I'm saying this now because in hindsight, most of these things that I had to go through, trust me, I wish I didn't have to. I wish I didn't have to say those words. I wish I didn't have to respond to these things. I wish I didn't have to. And these things are as a result of what and how you feel about these people. So they are going to manipulate how you feel for them. They'll manipulate it and weaponize it against you. Chaotic, I understand, but you don't have to be there. You don't have to be, because by the time you think back and look in to the issue, you realize that you were right, but a part of you would want to make you feel like you were wrong, because if this person said you were wrong and you love the person so much, or you care about the person so much, or the person means a lot to you, you begin to find out that you were actually wrong. You start apologizing for things you shouldn't be apologizing for. Do you understand? So basically, save yourself first before trying to save that person. And then when you find out that this person, you find out the major things about this person, depends on how much the person is willing to respond to you. And I mean honestly willing, because I have set a rule for myself. If you're apologizing, maybe you go back to read listen to my podcast about apologies. If you're apologizing, there's a particular way that you apologize that's actually remorseful. Trust me, if a person that doesn't want to apologize, if you tell the person to apologize that way, it's a way to make the person feel the person will not want to. Yeah, they sound like mere words, but trust me, those mere words bring out the action in you. For example, somebody say you did something, you say, "Oh, sorry," and then compared to saying, "I am sorry," you know that "I am sorry" puts you in a position of vulnerability. Like, "Oh, I didn't mean it. I am really sorry." A really remorseful person will not mind being vulnerable for that point in time, for that time being, or at that point in time. But a person who is not ready to be vulnerable, is not ready to be remorseful, will never tell you, "I am sorry." Most of them will say, "Sorry that you feel bad." What a joke. So I just sat down and decided to feel bad. Anyways, please listen to my podcast about apologies. There are 2 segments, 2 different episodes of it. All I am trying to say is avoid being in a chaotic situation at all costs, at every single cost, as much as you can. Trust me, in doing so, you'll be saving yourself a whole lot of problems. You'll be saving yourself. And if you are able to save yourself from these problems, you'll find out that you will have less toxic communications or less toxic relationships with people around you. I hope I've been able to convince you, not confuse you today. Dealing with the chaotic can be very tasking, and if you can't deal with it, please walk away. Trust me, just walk away. It's not worth it. Have a wonderful day. My name is Vaso Opasaki, and I love you, and that's why I'm bringing this thing to you. Enjoy your day.